Whether you're a tournament fisherman or a recreational fisherman or both, time is critical. Sometimes you only have a short window of time to experience the lake or river or whatever body of water you're on, and you want to maximize the time that you want to be productive, you want to catch fish. We all do. In a tournament scenario, it's really critical. You have to maximize your efficiency. You got to cover as much water as possible and zero in on what the fish are doing. And it may not be the same every day. You got to adapt. So there's a lot of issues when it comes to trying to locate bass, especially in a tournament environment. Okay, that's what we do for a living. It's expensive sometimes because you don't figure it out, and it's a hard lesson to learn. But I'm going to share with you the techniques that have worked for me throughout my career in basically trying to break down lakes, whether they're natural or man-made, rivers included. And these are things that have worked for me. They, you know, Ish and Mark and Fletcher, they may all have a different approach. I'm sure they do. You know, we all have our strengths, and that's part of breaking down a body of water. You go with your strengths, especially if it's a body of water you're unfamiliar with. There's a lot of variables, and it's pretty intimidating. The bigger the body of water, the more intimidating it is. And that's a fact of life in what we do. And we have a very small amount of time to break that lake or river down or impoundment down. In 2.5 days, when you're talking a lake the size of Lake Erie or you know, the Delta in California or Lake Okeechobee, that's not a lot of time. And there's other things you have to consider before you ever get on the water. You know, the time of year, the prevailing weather patterns. You know, where are you going to be able to fish? If it's pre-spawn and it's early, you know, you're still dealing with cold fronts and whatnot. Those are things you have to factor in your search. You know, on Lake Okeechobee, it's really important to find fish in different parts of the lake because the wind cycles all the way around frequently, especially in the time of year that we're usually there for tournaments. So I take that approach and try to apply it to other places we go to. I want to try and find places, no matter what the weather does, I'll still be able to fish. Really important. Avoid it. You want to try and have a strategy, and that's basically broken down into different aspects, one of which is seasonal patterns. Okay, you ask yourself, what time of year am I going to this body of water? And then I try to incorporate the patterns that I think should make the most sense at that time. If I'm going in the spring, then I'm not worried about bass chasing shad, schooling, like I might be in the fall, or which I would be in the fall. Okay, and if it's fall, I'm not worried about looking for bass fanning beds in the shallows. So you use common sense and try to eliminate the lake or the body of water you're on based on the seasonal pattern, and that eliminates a lot of water, believe me. In the early spring, you know, winter, early spring, you're looking for steeper banks and bluff banks on reservoirs and places where the fish can get out of current if you're on a river. They might be in marinas, they might be in backwater areas, staging up. They might be anywhere where they have good depth and vertical cover. Those are good places in the early part of the year. As temperatures warm, the fish are going to start thinking more horizontal. They're going to be looking for flats and protected areas, canals and backwater creeks and grassy flats and places where they can get up there and start building nests. That's next, and then after that, it's about recovery. They'll hang around the shallows for a while, and then they start following the forage, or they're going to start repositioning. Some fish will stay shallow if they have the right cover and enough food, and a large population will go offshore and they'll look for structure, or they'll roam looking for forage. So those are things that you have to factor in. In the fall, it's all about the forage. Winter's coming, they're going to feed, and they're going to be looking for shad or whatever the dominant forage is wherever you're at. And generally speaking, the fish will get in the backs of creeks wherever water's coming in, or they'll be on, if you're on a reservoir with a lot of grass, they'll school on the points or the areas around those matted fields of grass. And it's all about chasing forage. And you can still catch fish. Trust me, there's shallow fish year round, and there's fish that are what we refer to as territorial fish. They relate to objects and they stay there. That's where they live. But that's one part of the population. The bigger part of the population is moving. They're doing something different in each season. Okay?
I hope you enjoyed the preview clip, and for more like that and the entire collection, subscribe to the Bass University TV. And if you want the tackle that you see on there, I want you to go to the Bass University Tackle Shop, powered by Tackle Warehouse, and click right here, and it's all at your fingertips.
You want to become a better angler?
You want to catch more and bigger bass at your local pond?
Then check out Bass University TV for hardcore bass fishing information.
Hey, I'm Pete Gluzek.
And I'm Mike Iaconelli.
And this is Bass University TV.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests.
Everywhere I go in the country, I'm trying to use these techniques because I catch big fish that way.
From on the water to in the classroom,
We want to use that bait to help make that area even smaller and really find that sweet spot.
you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills.
You want something that's got a nice limber action, that's going to allow you to build pressure and keep those hooks pinned against that fish's mouth.
Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time.
Hold on, because you're going to catch some big fish.
Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best.
That's a key theory in all of fishing.
Subscribe to Bass University TV today.
Man, does it trigger a lot of strikes.
Here's the part that you're not going to hear anywhere else. This is the Bass University TV exclusive.